everything. Had some haters jump on some of my comments recently and asking uh, asking for data to support my lies. So already they're asking from the standpoint of argumentative and combative. So to that, I just will typically put my playlist in the comment as a response. That's kind of what I'll do with that. So I'm going to go for a drive, take us over towards the Coastal Preserve and the Prince Resort. I'm in the new Truthmobile, another one. I still have the Lexus. However, this is way more economical. I'm getting around 50 miles to the gallon overall with the car. And to put the truth in my name on the vehicle, on the new Truthmobile. And one of the reasons for that is it crosses over the different platforms. What a difference some light makes. How about a little bit more light? So, it's interesting. The part of what I'm doing is I've put together a library, a research library, exposing the truth about everything that I've been able to find out about. Along with that, I share some of the challenges of exposing the truth about everything. It's not real popular at all. So we'll flip this around. Gets a little bit busier, and I just don't want it to be viewed like I'm a distracted driver. So the phone number that I put out there is my anytime number. You can call me whenever you want, if you care to. And that's one of the other things that I did early on in this, was make my phone number available so people could actually reach out and talk to somebody that is exposing the truth about all this. I don't know if you've experienced this. I know I have, where I've wanted to get a person on the phone to ask a question, and then there would be like, please leave a message after the tone, or that there's not even a way to talk to a human being. That's kind of a challenge. So this is way more nuanced. The questions people have, if they're a serious question, if they seriously want to have an answer, and I haven't answered it in my videos that they're aware of, or they haven't pursued looking through my library, which includes a YouTube playlist. It's not just a playlist like anybody supposedly, I've heard, could put together a playlist. It's way more than that. It's on multiple platforms, and it gets really complicated. Oh, I've got somebody trying to push me with their car. Oh well. I'm going 45. That's the speed limit. And they'll go zooming around. Do they have a time management problem, perhaps? I don't know. I've been on these live streams where I've commented on that, and then they get pulled over. Like a $300 reminder that, hey, we've got speed limits here. Thanks for coming to visit. Yep, there I am, Mr. Obvious, but I'll go ahead and do that anyway. I don't mind helping people consider how to drive better. One of the ways is to give myself plenty of time. So, like to do this live stream, I'm up at before 1:30 in the morning, about 1:20, 1:25. Yeah, it's time to get up and get going. But I didn't have a whole, like 5 hours of watching mindless television before going to bed last night. Not at all. I look forward to my time of rest, and then I'll activate my Bible, my audio Bible I'll listen to while I'm asleep, almost sleeping. Now that's the medical center up to the right. A lot of entitled drivers, entitled people. They're busy and important, and they've got PhDs and all that kind of stuff. Just maybe not some good time management. So a few years ago, we had a tent out there for, it was a COVID tent. That was interesting. Exposing a whole lot about that whole last 3 years of the Twilight Zone that we lived in. How about that? Of course, I can't allow platform. However, I do on other platforms and through my research library. Now, one of the ways that I do this is that I'll add videos to my playlist and to my library. And the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars document, that is the landing video on my channel, is about 1 hour and 5 minutes long to listen to. I did it as a Facebook live stream, I believe over 7 years ago, and then I uploaded it to YouTube. Along with that, what I did is added over 530 or so hyperlinks in the comment thread. Obviously, the AI knows I'm doing that. The artificial intelligence is sentient, meaning self-aware. All the words that I mention on the video, I believe, are being converted into a text, and then it's being monitored and evaluated and potentially censored. So I will have a tongue-in-cheek hash, maybe sardonic or sarcasm, perhaps hyperbole, allegory, parable. Yeah, there's all different forms of syntax and speech and words that I could say that are very, like a 50-cent word, my grandpa would call them, like college level, and then it might be schoolyard, grade school level, shade tree mechanic level. I'm sure you can figure it out. I hope so. So I'm talking to potentially anybody in this whole world. We've got technology that tracks, traces, databases, and threat assesses everybody's bio locating signal. We're a biofield in a physiological body. Thanks, Sabrina Wallace, for exposing that in a humorous, oh my gosh, she's one of my new favorite people on this truth movement, exposing the truth about everything. So she has a background in working to, you can see her videos, but it was helping to turn areas that were dial-up internet in the 90s to broadband in Wisconsin, the very signals that I was going to end up using to find out about all this stuff eventually. I've had an insatiable appetite for information. Then I found out a lot of that information was false intentionally. So then I needed to find, I had been given an insatiable appetite for the truth about everything. And the reason for that is that we are making choices, life-affecting choices, that are not just for this life, this temporary experience in this realm that I'm driving around in. It's for eternity. Where will we spend forever, and why? This belonged to a little old couple that ended up going, this car, this Toyota Prius, a little old couple that went to an assisted living home. Like, the back seats were not used much at all. Heck, the front seats weren't used that much. The car has half the mileage of the other one that I had. I'm going to cover some of the amazing reality of all that. So I had an unpleasant used car experience, and on the previous vehicle, the price was very affordable. If I would have known that I needed to put a $3,000 repair in it, I probably would have passed on it. Somebody cleared the code. It may or may not have been the dealer. It may have been somebody before that didn't mention that on their trade-in. I don't know. And with that unpleasant experience, I had to decide whether or not I was going to think about it every time I went by the dealership, which is multiple times a day. And I chose to be grateful for what the Lord has provided for me, what He's removed from my plate, all of that. So today, I went out later last night. I don't know when the mail came yesterday for me. I ended up getting a notice that the electricity, it was a final notice for the electricity to be disconnected. The great news was that it was not for me, it was for somebody else. I wasn't the recipient of that rightfully. It came in my mailbox. That didn't mean it was for me. Here's where the allegory comes in. So I'll take that and I'll elaborate on that a little bit. There's information all around us exposing the truth and promoting the deception. How will we be able to figure that out? Who are we? In other words, whose are we? Are we the Almighty's children or the fallen one's children? And when are we in history? Before or after the tribulation and the millennial reign of Christ? I believe after the millennial reign of Christ. My lunch break is a new channel a friend shared with me. How wonderful. How special. And on that channel, wow, this is a dark parking lot, so I need to turn these lights off so I can see what the heck I am doing. Wow. Here, I'll flip it around so you can see what I'm doing. I don't have anybody behind me, by the way. But it is so dark that I just couldn't see with the light on the inside of my windshield. So a window can be a mirror depending on light and the perspective of the viewer. More allegories here, lots more, but I'm going to take us outside for a moment and then just show you what it looks like here. Isn't that cool? Being able to have a mobile broadcast studio like this. It's got a keyless entry. I don't need to biohack myself and stick a chip in my arm or my hand. Now the theater lighting, I believe, will turn off eventually. Let's see, is my door closed all the way? Yeah, I think that'll go off. Anyway, that's the moon up there. Oh, yeah, see, it did go off. Okay, so this is the coastal preserve. We're looking at level water. It's not actually perfectly flat. I've got a wind coming from the west. That's coming from my back. We're looking pretty much east, not due east, but close to it. Let's zoom in on the moon a little bit. Some of my haters more recently said level compared to what? Level compared to level. I put hashtag stationary level Earth. They were haters. Oh, and the lies they were saying about the magnetism and the biofield and all that, well, they've got some studying to do if they want. What I found out with this whole social media circus that we're living in is manipulating humanity. So I'm not having any of it. Or I'm having about as little of it as possible. Okay, so we can't see the wind. Can you see any wind? I can't. Can you hear it? Should be able to. I'll check it out later when I get home. I watch my own videos, critique them, see what I'm going to do with it. Now, will the light go on? Yes. Isn't that amazing? Let me do this. I've got it's a rather expensive magnet. Yeah. It's got a reflective feature to it. I'm hoping I can find my big yellow high beam light. I think it's in here. Oh yeah. Yep. Here it is. So that's a reflective, and that's we're going to Mars, right? No, we're not going to Mars. Here, maybe I should put it on selfie mode. Elon Musk, yeah, I'll open the pod bay door. That ridiculous stuff about going to Mars. I've got a friend who actually thinks he's going to Mars, but he's not doing so good health-wise. It's sad. He believes we live on a spinning globe. Oh, looks like somebody lost their food. Yeah, that happens too. Gosh, I'm glad that's over with. How about that? You remember chucking your guts out? I do. Don't need to do that anymore. So these are magnets. This one, the Bible.com, is reflective. Let me throw a different light spectrum on it. There we go. That's better. And then I've got the bigger one on the roof there. That'll be seen through the red light cameras and all that. And you can see a video of this car when it's, well, I don't have much video of this particular car yet. I was waiting until I get my print, my vinyl. But it's in really nice shape. It had 112,873 miles. Why do I remember that? That was the number put in on the bank information. So I found a bank to help me out to get this. How cool. My local bank. So I was able to get it for less than the market value. Yeah, see how that is? I want to show you oh yeah, see now there's clouds going in front of it. So that'll just block right out. Okay, so here's what I want to show you too. There's nanoparticulate in that. There's sea mist. There's humidity, moisture, apparently a photoelectric fungus that can get into the lungs, bore into them. So I'm not embarrassed for getting rid of or spitting. How about that? Get rid of some of that stuff. And you may think it's gross, but what I want to tell you is that mucous membrane traps a lot of the particulate, and if I don't spit it out and I choose to swallow, then that will hit the hydrochloric acid in my stomach. And that's a star right there, not the moon. Can't see the moon much now. But that hydrochloric acid in the stomach will change some of the molecular properties, just like acid would and does. So how about that? We're a living science project and a social experiment for an added bonus. So I have videos that I've done in the other Truthmobile. Wow. Okay, so let's fire up some lights here. And I'm going to show you a feature of this car that is so cool. So I'm going to turn it on and turn off my headlights. Okay, I think it's going to want me to have my, no, I don't have to have my seat belt on now. So I'm going to show you something here. My air conditioner is running right now, and now my engine is charging up my battery a little bit. That battery will then operate the climate control, whether hot or cold. It'll just maintain it at, I've got it set at 70 degrees right here. Okay, and then when I start driving, these directional examples they'll show the pathway of the energy. Now, in just a moment, the car is going to shut, the engine is going to shut off. There we go. Engine shut off. And everything's still operating just fine. I could have an inverter connected to my battery, and I will. I've got it at home. I just need to connect it when I want to. And I can run my freezers at home. I've got some high efficiency freezers that take very little energy to operate. They're not the old freezers of 50 years ago. I remember chest freezers as a boy. They took a lot of energy. These are not that type. They are the newest generation that I'm aware of. So they work really good. I've got some deep cycle batteries that I can work in concert with that. So some of this is a prepper situation. I'm wanting to help you consider prepping. The most important prepping, I believe, to do is to be born of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Now, people seem to think that, yeah, you can have the, like, demonic possession and the exorcist, and that's all true. I've got video of some clips of The Exorcist in my library and other movies that are, I believe, predictive programming as well. And some just showing they're based on true events. So anyway, the protection of the Holy Spirit is way more than anything the enemy can throw at me, whether it's a cracked up cocaine addict, a heroin addict that's jonesing and wants to rob me or kill me. I've met people that have had shotguns go off and they were pointed right at them and it didn't touch them, didn't hurt them. And other people are dead. They're dead now. I got a call last night. A friend died last night. And then my wife says, well, he's in heaven now. And I didn't say much. I hope he is. I want to see everybody there. The reason why I say I hope so, and I'm not all real confident about that, is I know that he believed a lot of things that were not true, that I had been exposing him, like biblical cosmology is not a spinning globe hurling through space. There's no proof of it. There's just a clever deception. And then he was a part of believing in the name it and claim it movement. You know, speak it into existence, claim your fame, claim your fortune. So how deceived can somebody be and actually love the truth and be born of the Spirit? Just so you know, I'm not going to expose somebody's identity typically like this, unless maybe I'm speaking to about a celebrity like Elon Musk. I would say I've been reaching out to him for years, sent him a package with me photoshopped in the Roadster on a shirt and the Cybertruck on the back, which I had ordered, the tri-motor autonomous version. And I'll call Elon out on his stuff. I believe he's promoting space fakery and he's lying to humanity. Talking about linking people with the Neuralink because he's all concerned about the truth and AI recognizing a symbiotic relationship with humanity, and so it doesn't exterminate us. We're already in a war games simulation and a reality. We live in many simulations. I know that for a fact. And this base reality. You're not seeing me right now. You're seeing a digital capture, transmission, and a reassembly of it on whatever device you're looking on, unless you're creeping on me in the parking lot and you glance up and see me. Like there's one car in the parking lot apparently. Do they know who I am and what I'm doing, or is it a vacant car? I don't know. And it may sound like, oh, that's just so obvious, Captain Obvious. I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing you on a screen. It's one of the foundational critical thinking examples that I give to people is that, I know we live on a globe because I've seen it. I said, where'd you see that? On the computer screen in front of me when I was flying from Europe to here. Oh, they could never fake that. They fake the moon landing. They give us fakery, creating news events that get people focused and afraid of things that may not even have happened. So rather than mentioning any one of, or I won't mention most of the events that would get this video flagged and taken down. So I'll just keep it at that. 9/11 of 2001, there is so much trickery that went on with that. 19 men, hijackers, that was such a bunch of baloney, all of that. Now, this is not meant to any disrespect for people that lost loved ones, however they ultimately died. I'm not exactly sure because I don't know which loved one I may be tarnishing their memory in your mind. It's not meant to do that. It's meant to cause you to question reality. My lunch break video, I featured a video that showed Oshkosh, Wisconsin. For gosh sakes, I used to get liquored up with college professors on the campus there, at bars that were right around the college campus, drinking Tanqueray gin and smoking weed and all of that, and philosophizing about what we thought about our reality and ideas and all that, dreams, hopes, fears, politics, the whole thing. So I just wanted to go live and toss a bunch of thoughts out there about reality and the truth about everything. If you're inclined to consider is what you believe actually true, that's a good place to be. Because a lot of people think they got it all figured out. Heck, you might even think that's me. And I would say, well, not exactly, because I'm learning every day that I'm learning new things every day. And so that biofield that I talked about, our body having electrical properties, oh, woo-woo and foo-foo, no, it's real. When the electricity stops flowing, according to this world, you're dead. They may call a code on you, and if you're in a hospital and say clear, and they use the AED or a defibrillator to try and resuscitate you to get the heart going again. So we live in a bizarre world, similar to some of the allegory in the Matrix with the sentient world simulation. The Truman Show, a lot of the construct of our world is fakery. And there are other movies that it's much like. Stargate, we've got, apparently, our time is being affected. Our perception of time in this reality. Oh my gosh, it's Wednesday again. Oh, it's Thursday again. Do you find yourself saying that? I know I do. It all kind of blends together, and it keeps coming quicker and quicker. And then there are things like the Mandela effect and the different oddities around that. How does that work? Well, we've got neurons that operate in our brain and in our body to help us move our fingers and our hands and remember things. And I remember where I was when I first heard that Nelson Mandela died in the early 80s. I believe it was 1982. Well, anyway, apparently that didn't happen according to the official narrative. When we bought our second house had neighbors across the next door neighbors. Their last name was Haas, spelled Haas, like Haas avocados. I remember seeing Haas avocados and then recognizing that our neighbor's last name was Haas. Our sons played together. And then I remember my dad mentioning George Haas smoking a big cigar. He owned Penske rentals for truck rentals, and he also had Penske Racing. All those neurons connected together around that memory, and I remember it. So what does that have to do with anything? Well, it's part of the construct of, I remember that. I remember that as being true. And now, if you walk into a produce section, or if I do, it'll say HASS. It was funny, I was walking into a Costco, and I was on the phone with my friend Joe. We don't talk anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, my friend Joe said he won't return my calls, texts, and apparently he's still alive. I don't know. I don't know if a computer or a spiritual entity, something got a hold of his brain or heart, or maybe it's any communications is being diverted to a different area in silico, in the computer network, where it's not even letting him know that I'm trying to reach out to him. I don't know. Anyway, I'm walking into Costco and he says, "How do you spell Haas avocado?" And I said, Haas. He said, "Look again." So I'm walking into Costco and I look at the produce section, and there it was, Hass, Hass. I asked the produce guys that were nearby, I said, "How do you spell Haas avocado?" And they said Haas. I said, "Look again." And they had this inquisitive look on their face, and I handed them my cards and I said, "If you Google my name, guaranteed to blow your mind." So now I'm wearing a black shirt. It's a mesh fiber net mesh fiber network. It's a mesh. So what I wanted to show you here is that on I wear a lanyard around my neck. My little neoprene thing came off of it. It doesn't work too good. I'm just gonna save that for another time. But so I'm going to show you this again. Now my engine just turned on and it's filling up my battery again. So the amount of time from the last time that I did that, this is when the engine started up and then it just turned right off. So from a car camping standpoint, I'll get back to the Mandela effect in a minute. I can fold the seats down and all 5'11" of me can stretch out in here, and I could have 3 cats in here if I had to evacuate my home. I'm using pine pellet cat litter because it's healthier for me and for them. About a decade ago, I found out that pine pellets were a good way to go. At Petco, they were $16 a bag a decade ago. Who knows what they are now. I went to Tractor Supply Company and they had them for $5 a bag. And I told them how much healthier and more effective it was. I called corporate at Tractor Supply Company and said, "You might want to change the advertising, the marketing of your pellets." They had a picture of a horse on the bag, and I said, "You might want to include small animals." Well, they did. They included the small animals, changed their whole packaging and all that based on, I believe, my reaching out to them and talking about it, because there was a change. It was one way. I called them. They changed it. Did I affect any of that? I believe so. So back in 2005, when I was recovering from a near-fatal suicide attempt while on pharmaceuticals as directed by the medical industrial complex to put a chemical straitjacket on me, I ended up surviving that by the grace of God only. I don't need any pharmaceuticals, don't need any drugs, don't need any alcohol. I'm a free man sharing a message to set others free. So a few months before that occurred, um, I was driving around in a Volkswagen diesel. Uh, I got over 50 miles to the gallon with it. It was great. But I also test drove a Toyota Prius. And where I'm going with that is while I was recovering in an outpatient capacity after a 1 month inpatient stay at Theta Clark in Neenah, Wisconsin, I ended up writing down on a legal pad how we could actually have an electric semi with regenerative braking on the trailer as well as the tractor. And that was before Elon Musk even had anything more than his Roadster, the initial Roadster. Remember, this is 2005 that I'm talking about. So I've got an Odyssey video that was also a YouTube video where I showed that and talked about it, but it was taken down. And my research library has been tweeted to world leaders, and including Elon Musk, and he finally pulled the plug on me. He or the emulation supercomputer, quantum computer that manages his social media activity. You really don't think Elon is just sitting on the toilet tweeting, do you? He actually says he does that. He's probably done it a couple of times. However, there's a supercomputer that he's working with that I waved to when I waved to the Teslas. Now that I've got a friend that lives just down the road from me that owns a new Model Y, beautiful pearl colored Tesla, he just got an upgrade on it so he can go 0 to 60 a second quicker. Anyway, he works with AI, robotics, and machines. And he's about 79 and a half now. He's a character. We go round and round because he believes he's the guy that believes he's going to go to Mars and lives on a spinning globe. I keep telling him, no, that's all science fiction. And he's got cancer now. He got some experimental medical treatment that's been real popular in the last 3 years. We're in 2023 now. You can look at what I'm talking about. It was an injection that a lot of people got worldwide. We're currently looking at a genocide worldwide. I've got evidence of that in my research library. So people may come in on the commenting and hate on me, maybe on the live chat, maybe when this is a video later. I don't know. I try to get to them as much as I can. Sometimes I'll love the comment and I don't even get back to talk about it. Like, thank you so much, blessings. I'll do that ahead of time. I want to thank people for your public and private encouragement, support. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm not cutting the broadcast right now. I just wanted to say it. I get some of the most beautiful, sincere sounding, heartfelt comments to me. How they got set free from drugs and alcohol, and that based on God using me to touch their lives. That's pretty special. I really appreciate that. So as we're looking at inventions and creativity and MacGyvering things, fabricating things, trying to make things better, to go back to the writing down on a legal pad, regenerative braking on a semi, in the opportunity space between the tractor tires and the trailer tires, there's a big opportunity space for a battery that could be filled with energy from the braking energy of the trailer and tractor. When you're slowing down 80,000 pounds of stuff, of momentum, kinetic energy, that's a whole lot of energy that can be harvested. And I extrapolated from the regenerative braking on the Prius that I'm in right now, that could be done at a large scale, at a grand scale. So in talking about Oshkosh, and Oshkosh being also a military industrial complex provider, Oshkosh Truck, Oshkosh Defense. I've tweeted to them, and Lockheed Martin and Grumman and Boeing and Vladimir Putin, Zelensky and Barack Obama and George Bush Sr. when he was alive, and Jr. and Donald J. Trump and whatever account he has or had. I reached out to the world leaders. What could I possibly have to tell them? Well, get your house in order, because the end is near, like when you can't fog a mirror. Now, a lot of these people who I mentioned are in perhaps like a bloodline, like the Merovingian bloodline. I don't know. A lot of coincidences with the presidents of the United States being related to one another. What could be happening there? Well, the presidents are selected, not elected. It was the most obvious I think it's ever been in the last presidential election. So a lot of what we're told is not true. It's intentionally deceptive to manipulate humanity. And one of the reasons why I don't get into a long dissertation commenting on the video broadcast or in a comment later as it goes into my library is because it would take too much to write out, and I don't have to write out an answer. Somebody really wants to know. They're really curious how I could believe what I talk about. Why would I believe what I do? Well, I believe because it's true. Actually, apparently we all do. We believe what we believe to be true. When we're looking at something that we believe is a deception, we believe that our perception of that deception is true. Sometimes I'll go live just to see what is going to come out of my mouth. Is it just me? Is it just what's running around between my ears? I would say absolutely not. It's a lifetime of research, and along with that, the most important reality is having a desire to be used by the Almighty to share what He wants with anybody who will listen, even those that don't listen, or they may hear it, but they may believe, that's just crazy talk. Largely, people believe what they want to believe. That's what I found out. So let's comment. I'm going to comment on that, what I just said. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2:11 talks to that very topic. They refused to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a strong delusion. So it's more than like a shell game where there's a guy with a gold tooth display moving little walnut shells with a peanut or a marble underneath it trying to trick you. It's that the Almighty is going to help you to believe the lie that you apparently want to believe. Because if you want to keep sinning in some kind of unbiblical behavior, whatever it may be, putting something in your body, it may be a chemical, it may be something that requires 12 volt or 9 volt batteries, or batteries and a charger, or whatnot, stimulators. There's masturbation, and then there's mental masturbation. Mental masturbation, if you hashtag it in a YouTube search, there's a treasure trove of information that is a commentary on people seeing life in a way that pleasures themselves, and them themselves in a favorable way to their own liking. So I'm not saying it to be nasty. I'm saying that it's self-actualization where people see themselves the way that they want to see themselves in this world, as it maybe is or isn't. They may have a very distorted version or view of this world. So it's much like have you ever looked through a kaleidoscope where you can look through the kaleidoscope and it has a mirrored view that's very disorienting, can be? Well, there's a kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories to hide the actual true conspirators in what they're up to. This system is like a big Monopoly game in a version of The Sims, in a 3D augmented reality where the world central bankers create the money out of thin air, and then with that money, with that purchasing power, it allowed me to buy a car. It allowed me to do that and to buy homes and sell them. That's part of how I got to where I am, is made a good amount of money and saved on rental by riding an elevator of real estate valuation. So we bought, lived in, and flipped homes. But that's another whole issue. That's part of why I can do what I do. To go back to the World Central Bank creating money out of thin air, loaning it into existence. Oh, that sounds crazy. Well, it's the World Central Bank system. Okay, that's what we live in. It's being operated and manipulated by that. So they can buy the influence through all forms of media, whether it's being in a magazine, in a TV program, on a live broadcast. Brought to you by Pfizer. Take a look at the sponsors and how they benefit from what's being promoted. If they're promoting fear on fear, an acronym could be false evidence appearing real, fear, on the news, and then they're selling chemical solutions to that, so-called solutions, kind of a play on words. It's like the petri dish of our life. We have our soul and spirit, soul/spirit biofield, living in a body that animates this flesh with muscles and nice hair and big eyebrows and all that, coconut oiled up and a lot of electrolytes flowing through me, and the Holy Spirit living through me, okay, and all of his children that are actually born of his Spirit now. So how's my family doing? Well, many are being blown to bits, being martyred, that's killed for our faith, martyred. And some are enjoying the lap of luxury, maybe enjoying being used by the Almighty to expose the truth about everything. I believe that's what I get to do. How long will I get to do it? I don't know. I don't know, because there's this me right now at 6:07 Eastern Standard Time on the 11th of the 10th month in 2023. And then when this me that you're looking at now stops working, there will be a digital me, perhaps, that continues on. I say perhaps because if God allows, they could hashtag Robert Forsch and delete every occurrence of this name. Every occurrence that's associated with my phone number, my name. I can't get another Twitter/X account. By the way, Elon and the super quantum computers that are operating multiple simulations and bidirectionally manipulating humanity. Yeah, it sounds kind of weird, right? Well, I've got proof of it. By the way, Elon, you're so concerned about ChatGPT lying to humanity. Maybe you should stop lying to humanity. That'd be just great. Stop promoting your space fantasy and get real and honest about how far advanced telemedicine is and the bidirectional mind control manipulation technology we're living in. Yeah, not only am I surprised that, I'm not surprised that you booted me off the platform, even if you're not hearing me, even if it's just the AI that censored me out of the platform. I'm surprised that I got to be up as long as I was on there. There's millions of occurrences of my access points to my research library, whether it's my phone number, my name, the actual playlist, or the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars documentation. That hashtag. When I first started hashtagging Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, there wasn't so much there. On Instagram, now there's about 35,000 results. Have at it. If I Now I'm dropping most of my content, or much of it, much of the access points to my library on Facebook. Some people say I don't have Facebook. I don't like Facebook. I don't have social media. Okay, a lot of people do. Apparently, almost half the world does, so I'm trying to reach everybody I can. Bible.com is still God's Word in all the major languages of the world, thousands of languages, multiple translations. So when I'm listening to the Bible, the Word of God, I'm reprogramming myself with the truth. That's what I'm wanting to do. That's what I believe I'm doing. That's what He's doing in and through me. So that the cleaner a vessel I have for Him to operate in, cleaned by Him, created by Him to serve Him, and I'm willing to do what He wants me to do. So that's the premise that my life is operating on, or the MO, the method of operation, is that I'm indwelt by the Holy Spirit, and every fiber of me that can is wanting to do what He created me to do. And that's pretty common almost all the time. I just want to do what He wants. I ride a motorcycle. That's dangerous enough. I'm exposing the grand illusion that we're living in, and people die around that. Eventually, I want to run this car on a good portion of the energy that is running this car. I want to be from water. Water. Molecular dissociation of the liquid into its constituent parts of oxygen and hydrogen to feed into the engine. So in this highly efficient, small inline 4-cylinder engine that harvests brake energy, kinetic energy, and creates electricity from it, I'm going to utilize that to very efficiently harvest the energy from the water. Apparently, from what Stanley Meyer said, there's more energy in a gallon of water than a gallon of gasoline. Liquid oxygen and hydrogen. One of the people that worked with SpaceX, one of their scientists, ended up blocking me on Twitter, now X. I'm sure that got back to Elon. He personally interviews all the people he mind controls and operates that space fantasy for humanity, just so you know. So why would I order a Cybertruck? I think it's pretty badass, pretty cool. But I'll use a Prius right now. I don't know that I'll be able to take delivery of the Cybertruck. Probably not. But even still, are they having effects on the biofield sitting in that device that can receive updates? Can update the vehicle to go faster. So does it affect the biofield? Perhaps. I believe that's a good possibility. One of my friends said, I think you're onto something. Oh yeah, I am. I know I am. So it's the Almighty is all-powerful and all-knowing. Do you think He's going to help me and all of His children have a clue of what's going on? Absolutely. And that is why we're not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. Those of us that are genuinely born again, that have the Holy Spirit living in and through us, I believe that's one of the benefits. We're not afraid of what the world's population would view as harmful to them. I'm willing to lay down my life, everything that I have, for the one who died for me. I want to do whatever he wants me to do because that's what I was created to do. So rather than handing the Almighty a to-do list, like a cosmic bellhop, like I like you to take care of all this stuff that's going on right now, and fix some things in my life, everything, so I can enjoy it more. Rather than do that, I just want to know, what does he want me to do? And then I'm going to rely on him to give me the power and the resources to accomplish it. It's a perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit. So he's going to resource us to do what he created us to do. What's not to like about that? So he's working in all the lives around us, worldwide. He's working in the spiritual entities, or in and through and affecting and limiting, protecting us from what would ultimately be annihilation. If Satan could kill me, I believe he would. Absolutely. Got somebody coming in behind me, kind of slow. Sounds like the exhaust is kind of loud. I think I might be, oh, they got a trailer. Yeah. Very likely not the Men in Black. Hey, I almost got killed by a vehicle that ran a red light at the Robert Edge Parkway and Highway 31. I was making a left turn and they were going really fast, like 65 miles an hour. And it was a black truck, and it was almost close enough that I could touch it with my hands. And I didn't see it. I was looking where I was going. I had a green light. I was rolling pretty quick through that intersection, and bam, he zoomed right by me. And then went left up underneath the overpass to get on Highway 31. And it was, I believe, the day before 9/11 commemorations of that psychological traumatic event for the whole world. Yeah. And he had blue lights running around on his license plate. I think I'm going to go ahead and just drive on over to another location. Let's see. Here we go. I've even got a backup camera on this car. How cool is that? So I paid $5,500 for this car, and there's no way I had the cash for it. So the bank loaned me the money, and they're on my title, and so they've got a vested interest in it. Oh, the shrubbery that used to be by the stop sign there, blocking a view, is gone. I didn't even have to complain about it. They just ended up cutting it down. But it was a danger, for sure. For bikers, pedestrians, motorcyclists, heck, anybody. I've got to remember to look at the live chat when I go back and check out the video. Sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't do that, but I should. So things are heating up around the world. Wars, rumors of wars, traumatic events. Are they natural disasters or are they being created by technology? Tesla technology, weather and seismic technology, it exists. I've got evidence of it on my channel, in my research library. Like I say, my research library has multiple venues. It's not just a playlist. So when somebody is hating on me and they've got some comments and they keep on wanting me to answer their question, whatever it may be, and I just put my playlist in the comment, I'm answering. And you can answer like that too. Heck, you can even use my playlist if you want to. For gosh sakes, you could send it to Elon Musk on X if you want to. You go, how's he doing that? Oh, he must have some friends. Oh yeah, friends and family worldwide. Yepper. So let's talk about the point of convergence and the optical perception. That right there, see how that rises up like that? We can tell it's going up for sure. That's the way it is. And that's concrete, pretty strong, doesn't burn up. You can look at the fires around all the structures that we don't know how they built exactly. Horses and buggies and monolithic structures that we couldn't even build today. How's that? How'd that happen? Did the Almighty build them? Perhaps. He can do what he wants. I remember seeing a video about the Great Pyramids and the Great Pyramid of Giza. It had like almost 10 million views. Yeah, we don't know who built it or when, but it took 20 years to do it. And I'm thinking, it's too much that you don't know to speak authoritatively on the duration it took to build it. I'm calling bullshit on it. The Almighty could have built it. Yep. I don't know. I get tired of all the lies. Too many lies. Too much information. I don't like arguing with people in public, especially on a post. I remember when about 9 years ago, I started using my Facebook as a method for evangelism, and people would have theological perspectives that were not true. I knew they weren't true. And so I do believe the doctrine of election is true, predestination. I'm not a Calvinist. I don't know everything Calvin was promoting or everything the Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Scientologists. There is such a load of horse shit out there of horse shit, bullshit. There's a bunch of deception. And then people even that will claim to be born again or loving Jesus and spreading Jesus all over what they do, they've got theology that is totally unbiblical. Name it and claim it, prosperity gospel, all kinds of things that I know are not true. Okay? So, what is the gospel? The great news is all of God's children will be born again, born of His Spirit, set free from a life of our own self-effort and self-pleasure. We get to do what we're created to do, and the Almighty rewards us for that. His grace is imputed to us. He saves us. He created us to save us. And apparently, there's a whole group of people that are not His children. There's the parable of the wheat and tares. There's a lot of tares all around us. Okay? So who are they? It's not my job to determine that. That's way above my pay grade. My responsibility is to obey. And some would say, well, if God determined what all was going to happen, why do anything? I'm just going to do what He created me to do as best I can. You can do whatever you can do. God have mercy on your soul, whoever you are, whatever you're about. And since I'm potentially speaking to anybody, I'm not speaking to one person in particular. And that changes the context of this presentation. As soon as I get close enough where somebody's spit is hitting me in the face because they're all pissed off about me not agreeing with them, it's a different thing. By the way, that doesn't happen much. I don't have ambush evangelism. I just don't. It's not profitable. I put the truth out there as best I can to as many as I can across multiple platforms. I'll put a sticker on the pier, on the walk out to the beach, on my car. I'll have it labeled up. It's visually kind of loud. People can look at it and say, oh, that's a freak show. Well, whatever. Believe what you want. Did you know that there's a bidirectional mind control technology run by supercomputers in the mesh network that's all around us, the electronic mesh network of Wi-Fi, cellular, and the wired and wireless technology all around us? Did you know about that? Did you know that 9/11 was an inside job? Yep, it is. Proof of it on my channel, in my library. Did you know that the world rulers make money out of thin air? Who told you that? How'd you find out? I mean, did you know that we could clean and power the world with water? Water. And some would say you can't get more out than you put in. Doesn't work. You're violating laws of thermodynamics. And I'm like, okay. So if you have an oil drilling company, let's say you got an oil company, you punch a hole in the ground, you pump some petroleum out of the ground, and then you refine it into all kinds of chemicals, gas and diesel, and many other petroleum distillates that are integrated in plastics and products and all that. Well, you got a lot of energy you're putting out there, and you're getting a lot of money back. I guess it's profitable. Just because water is so powerful and so easily accessible, for gosh sakes, I'm drinking it, spitting some of it out, and you can run a car on it. You could clean and power the world. I want to create a device or see it created. I'm going to give you some of the attributes and explanation of it. First, I'm going to give you the background of it. When I was about 10 years old, I got a little steam engine. I could plug it in. It boiled the water, and steam ran through different pipes and made a flywheel spin, and then I used it to power a crane on my erector set and all that. An erector set is an old metal toy that you can see. You can check it out if you want to. But anyway, what I would like to do is to take a device that uses magnetism to create electricity, a perpetual motion machine. I've got that in my research library as well. You can see it. The Liberty engine creates electricity. Okay, then I want to shatter the bond between oxygen and hydrogen and catch it on fire. You can see it. You can see it happening. You can cut steel and melt rock with water that's molecularly disassociated into its constituent components, the gas of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is a powerful storehouse of energy, and oxygen is a catalyst to cause combustion. It's a perfect fit. I want to burn that to further create heating of water to create steam and have a perpetual energy science experiment. If I were to die today and not be able to do any of that, if this video were still out there on YouTube, let's say YouTube takes it down, if it successfully makes the duration of the broadcast or whatever part of it is going to be uploaded to Odyssey, it would be on Odyssey then. So I've got thousands of videos that I've produced, like 2,500 videos that me talking and videoing, and sometimes just videoing and letting the scenery and the sounds, birds and heavy equipment do the talking, and I'm just not saying a word. But I do have a message. I've got a lot to say. That's why I have a channel to do this, and a library. I'm the librarian of the research library, the truth, exposing the truth about everything research library. So this perpetual energy device, imagine pouring water into it and then running a alternator flywheel assembly that creates electricity to power devices and creates heat also to heat up a little area. You know, maybe a small area of your house where you can huddle with your family and your pets in a grid down situation. So there you go. Could have like a little orb. You could have it as a water distiller as well. You could take salt water and put it in there, and then you would end up with a brine that you would want to dump out. But that's another way of creating distillation. Now, what I'm going to tell you is really important. Why do we have stinky underarms? Why does it smell? Well, I don't stink as much as I used to, because it's not just that I've got a better deodorant and I've got muscles. What ends up happening is the lymph system of my body, the cellular activity of my body is being flushed out with the perpetual detox protocol that I have. So this water is reverse osmosis, carbon filtered water that I like to put in the sun. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? How much does a gallon of water weigh? Just asking. Well, it depends. It depends on the temperature, because the temperature of water changes the volume and density of that water. If the temperature changes enough in relationship to the air around it, it will evaporate. If it changes enough that it's hot enough to boil, then it's creating steam, and you can move things like steam engines, generators, all of that. If it changes enough, it'll expand, freeze, and crack the glass. It expands. If it heats up too much, or if it heats up enough, it expands and boils. How about that? So a gallon of water weighs approximately 8 pounds, depending on temperature. Exactly. So let's see, where do I want to go with this? So lots of energy in water. I was talking about my detoxification protocol. I've got 2 reverse osmosis systems in my house, one filling up my bathtub, one filling up jugs on my washing machine, and 5-gallon polycarbonate jugs. And what I will do is heat up about 1/3 of the water on the stove in stainless steel stock pots. I put a sprinkle of salt in there, vintage sea salt from an ancient seabed, either in Utah or in mines in Pakistan, pink salt, Himalayan salt, or so salt I get from Italy, the Mediterranean Sea. Depending on availability and where prices are, I just like a healthy full spectrum sea salt that replaces some of the elements in our body, in my body, our body. Like, it doesn't do anything for you unless you put it in there. For me, I brush my teeth with the sea salt and I swallow it. Okay, so the water is relatively non-conductive when the fluoride and other contaminants are removed from it. Okay, so I want it clean. Municipal water is unhealthy to drink. I want it clean. So I put it in glass after I filter it, or my bathtub, or the polycarbonate jugs that I'll fill my stock pots with. And then I'm going to add some electrolytes. Like in the movie Idiocracy, it has electrolytes. Yeah, oh my gosh. What a hilarious, tragic movie. More of a commentary on how ridiculous our society has become. Anyway, here's the electrolytes I put in my bath water. A tablespoon of each of the following: baking soda, boron, which is borax. I get it at the laundry department at Walmart. The sea salt. Then magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt. Then I put in apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, tablespoon of each of the aforementioned. And then, just because I like it, just because it's so special and I want to make sure that there's no parasites in my water, I add 7 drops of each of the 2-part chlorine dioxide water purification system. You can get it in the camping section at Bass Pro Shops or online on Amazon, the camping section at Walmart. So you can take pond water and filter the stuff out of it and put some of the drops of that in there to kill microbiological parasites. You can kill them. Okay, so I put 7 drops of each of those, the 2-part, in a little glass, and then swirl it around and dump it in one of my stock pots. I like it so much I take 7 drops of each and dip some of that electrolyte enhanced water that I mentioned from my 5.5 gallon stock pot. I put 7 drops of each of those 2 parts in that. Now, because I believe it's really important to get healthy nutrients, if I eat out, let me show you what I like to bring with me. I eat out almost every day, but when I eat out, it's my own stuff that I bring with me. Kale, spinach, chia seed, sea salt, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, collards, broccoli, whatever I feel like. Bananas. One day I got 40 pounds of bananas. Lady saw me. She said, "You're going bananas." I said, "Oh yeah." What do I do with those bananas? I put them in smoothies. So this is a repurposed apple juice or apple sauce jug, and well, this stuff is awesome. Ah, yes. And I've got mushrooms in there, shiitake and portobello. And I'm trying to grow portobello mushrooms right now. Portobello? Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I'll grab a cool pack, throw it in here. Let's see, where's my cool pack? Use this for years. It doesn't leave a bunch of water around. I put it in my Ziploc bag and then in a cool pack. It works great. But I could go days without eating any food. If I have hunger pains, I can have a gulp of water and those go away. So when I get up in the morning, I like to have a big gulp of water. And then I like some of that water to have been run through some good coffee beans. And then in that, the way I do it is I've got a coffee maker that doesn't have the burner underneath cooking it and scalding it and evaporating it. It just, the water runs through. I get the beans from Costco typically, and then after I'm done brewing it, I put it in my thermos here, an actual thermos. I like that. With my carbiner. So in a 1/2 gallon of coffee, I'm going to put 4 ounces of coconut oil and 1 teaspoon of that high quality sea salt. Have you heard that our soils have been depleted of a lot of nutrients? Well, there's a lot of nutrients in sea salt, just so you know. It's one of the ways to get it back. I've got a survival seed vault, and I can grow food, little bits of food, and I can live off of what I've got for quite some time. I don't go into great detail on my own property showing my preps. I've got a lot of water and it's purified water, because when the grid goes down, the pumps will stop filling up the water towers, and people are going to be without water after a little while, unless they have a way to fill them back up. I know they could power them up with generators and all that if they want to. They may not want to. They may want people to go to their provision centers. It may be a Walmart. They may want people to go to a FEMA camp. We've heard about FEMA camps. Many of us in the Truth Movement. I don't know. I know they're wanting to kill off a bunch of humanity. It used to be on the Georgia Guidestones. Now it's on the Georgia Guidestones digitally in my library and all around, but it's been deleted from this realm that we live in now. We actually had a chance to see it and to see what happened to it. So I've got many videos on the Georgia Guidestones in my library. You can see them if you want. And so there's a lot of mystery around that, how they were destroyed. Was it a lightning bolt? Was it a terrorist? If it was a terrorist, why in the world why did they destroy the crime scene? Oh, wait, that's part of what they do. They destroy their crime scenes. It's what they do on 9/11 and many other events. Planes disappearing into the ground. Planes disappearing into the buildings. They're lying. There's so much deception around all of that. And it's not just that happened, 20 some years ago. It's that it is reinforced throughout our lives, throughout this realm. So for those of us that are aware, we're not buying the bullshit anymore. Just not having any of it. So when somebody says something, or even I have a thought, I wonder if that's true. That's what I do. I wonder if that's actually true. It's unlikely, in many cases, it's unlikely to be true. If they're really pushing something, they're up to something. They're up to no good. So I'm going to flip this around. I typically like to be in the corner parking spot, but I can still wave to the people that are driving on out of here, and they'll be able to see this car, and so can the surveillance cameras. I'm on multiple cameras out around there as well. It's for a reason. It's for a reason. We're all being surveilled, not only in the cameras around us. If somebody, for example, let's say I'm on the beach and somebody is recording the sun rise, or they pan their camera around and it shows that whole setting to an AI that is evaluating everything. It's the closest thing to omnipresence that it can be, and it's expanding. Now, because of the biofield interaction that the technological enslavement is foisting on humanity, it's in our bodies evaluating what we can see and what we hear, and thought reading and all of that. It's all happening. Did you know that? Okay, so let me just step away here for a minute and see what it looks like out here. Oh, look at the water. Did somebody pee? Yeah, my car did. This right here is from my climate control, okay? That could be harvested as a atmospheric water generator that it actually is. So it's windy out there, and gusts of up to like 15 miles an hour now, I think. The fragrance of freedom. Have you ever been in a jail? I have a couple of times. The smell of enamel paint and urine and the stink of people. Oh, yeah. Yep. That's not what this smells like out here. What it smells like here is freedom. I remember what it was like to be a slave to my own self-effort and self-pleasure. Now I'm a free man sharing a message to set others free. That's why I do this. It's kind of funny. I want to throw these on it. Back when in the 80s, Tom Cruise and I are a similar age, close, within a few years. In the video of the Rain Man, the cover of the video jacket, I look a lot like Tom Cruise with Ray-Bans on. Covers up my wrinkles around my eyes. So anyway, I enjoy what I get to do. I enjoy this. I wouldn't sell out to be a national celebrity or a worldwide figure. No way. No way. I'm not saying that everybody that has worldwide recognition and is real popular is corrupt and deceived and deceiving others. It just, there's a very common thread that runs through that when people are Instagram or TikTok or YouTube famous, or famous from the world system. You know, looking around at the world here is well, I would say, okay, let's just imagine the way it is that we know it, and consider this: what would it profit a man if he gained the whole world and lose his soul? Pretty powerful statement, isn't it? Jesus Christ says that. It's not that he said it, he says it perpetually to anybody who will listen, even those who don't want to listen. So, and that's why I'll say it too. I was talking to a friend out there and his wife a couple days ago. We were walking on the beach and said, I hadn't seen you in a while. What you been up to? And I gave him a little bit of a tour of what I've been up to. And so I mentioned getting permanently banned from Twitter, now X platform. I said, you know, I wouldn't trade what I have for all that Elon Musk has. I'm serious. And people might think, well, that's crazy. Look at what he gets to do and what he's about. I believe that he is enslaved to a system that is using him to do its bidding. And yet I've reached out to him, and I still will, to try and just be obedient to what the Almighty wants me to do. Apparently he looked into spirituality, and came up with the gospel, the Jesus figure not being a reliable, factual occurrence. So some refer to Jesus Christ as Yeshua, and the living word, the living water, the great I am. I personally believe Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. That's what he said of himself. And he's in fact the great I am, the Almighty in human flesh. And so there you go. That's what I believe about him. And that he's my Savior too, my Heavenly Father. So one of the ways that I still reach out to Elon Musk regularly is, I mentioned his name in this video. Does that show up on his radar somehow? Perhaps. Another real practical way is I regularly appeal my so-called permanent suspension from the X platform. And I'll send links to him. This video, when it goes up, will be in there that I'm talking to him or mentioning it. So I talked to a gentleman here just the other day, a couple days ago, gave him my card, He has a brand new Tesla Model Y, beautiful pewter colored. He may be listening to this live stream right now. Could be. I said, we've got technology to charge that battery in your car while you're driving. Imagine that. What would that be like? And I don't just mean regenerative braking. I mean the Troy Reed magnet motor generator is amazing. The Liberty engine. You can see it. We've got suppressed energy propulsion and energy generation and propulsion technology. Suppressed meaning it's being hidden from the masses. It may be utilized in different applications that are not widely known about. That's just the way it is. So in the case of Stanley Meyer, well, he mentioned, you can hear it from his own mouth, he said the Department of Defense has determined that his technology is viewed as a matter of national security and it was out of his control what would be done with it. Who is Stanley Meyer? Was he just an inventor? No, he had a multi-million-dollar business he was running, and he wanted to change this world for the better, providing clean, abundant, free energy to humanity, virtually free. And he believed that the Almighty God created him to do that and to expose the truth about the New World Order, this world government, the beast system. And I also am going to keep doing that because I like it. Rather than adding chemicals to my brain to feel good, I would rather obey him, and then he activates the reward center in my brain for obeying him. That's the way it's meant to be. So a person like a heroin addict, not like, but let's just use the heroin addict, can die if they don't receive their regular fix. They can go into an arrest. Same thing, similar with benzodiazepine, benzos, anti-anxiety medicine. Who makes a drug that if you don't keep taking it, you're going to die? Oh, you can see something like that in the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. I've got the soundtrack in my library, the extended version of it. I thought it was a pretty cool idea to be able to take something that could allow you access to all your brain. Hey, I've got a better idea. I want access to more than my brain. I want access to all the information that God, the Almighty God, wants me to have access to, and how he serendipitously choreographs lives all around us. Not just me, it's not all about me, it's about we. It's about the truth tellers exposing the liars and the deceivers. What a wonderful thing to be able to do. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I remember thinking 30 years ago, what's going to happen when the rapture happens and there's nobody to proclaim the gospel? Well, he'll have angels flying around. Oh, wait, what if it already happened? What if we're living past the tribulation because we can see melted castles and buildings and a destroyed earth that looks like a lot of heat was used worldwide? And we've got mystery with history, and this system of control, the beast system, has deceived most of humanity. There's a delusion in the last days that would be so powerful that if possible, would deceive even the elect. Well, who are the elect? They've been elected. Who elects them? The Almighty elects them. That's why it's important to know who the elect are. Are you one of them? I don't know, because, as I mentioned before, that's not my purview. I don't determine who the elect are. And apparently, neither do they. It's been done for them. It's not like I'm a robot. It's not like I'm being Wizard of Oz by the Creator. No, I get to do what I want because he puts the want to do what he created me to do conditionally as I unreservedly obey him. I'll do what he wants, and then he gives me that want to do what he created me to do. It's perfect fit. I'm so grateful for that. Now it's really cloudy out there. However, I think I'm gonna let me see. I'm gonna walk out there a little bit and see if maybe we should go out. I should take you out there or do something else. Now you might think, what does having that water matter? Well, if I were in the desert, let's say Death Valley, driving the Truthmobile across the Death Valley, it would be nice to harvest that water. I could have an Aptera. That's a three-wheeled electric vehicle that actually charges the battery with solar, okay? Enough to drive over 30 or 40 miles a day, depending on sunlight availability. Oh wait, how about if you've got a magnet motor generator? This little car could run on water. I've said before, it's a dangerous proposition to run your vehicle on water from the standpoint that it's unpopular with the power structure. So that water just created enough flow to go further. I didn't move it, it just moved on its own. It's seeking level. That's what it does. I know what I want to do. I want to just take us up the parking ramp a little bit. So higher is drier and lower is wetter all over the face of the stationary and level Earth. Level compared to what? Level compared to level. That's my answer. That right there is a convex mirror. It's not a plane mirror. A plane mirror is a pretty accurate representation of the surroundings. A convex or a concave mirror is distorting. It gives you a different view. Wow, they've got some lights out in the garage. Oh well. I've told them about it. Done my part. Okay. Do you ever find that sometimes people, sometimes I get wow, Robert, you're a nuisance. We don't want to be told that. Oh well, tough beans. I'm going to tell you anyway. It's a security risk when you have lights out. It shows you don't care or you don't know or something like that. If you don't want to have lights there anymore, take the fixtures down. But don't make it look like you don't care. That's dangerous. Anyway. No overnight parking. But sometimes guests do. They don't want me to tell them about that anymore, so I don't. I've told them enough. If all the guests were to take the free parking spots, then there would be no place for the people that are trying to find a place around here to park because it's $3 an hour to park to go to the beach between 9 to 5 in season. There's my friend Linda out there. And they're working on the pier still. Hopefully that will be done soon. That'll be just great. That's a cool little car. I am so happy to have it. So today it'll be labeled up similar to the one that's in my videos library. You can see it. I left it there. The aerodynamics of this thing are awesome. I believe that they totally disparaged this vehicle publicly to make it seem like it was a loser of a looking car, like it was not a cool car. It's got a low drag coefficient, handles great, plenty of headroom. Hey, Joe Embriano, you ought to get one. That'd be cool. Plenty of hair room for you there. The Fullerton Informer. I think Joe probably knows who I am. I don't know. I've had people compare me to him. I've been told that Joe Rogan knows who I am. He sure as heck should. I'm exposing the space fantasies those bozos are promoting and believing. Bozos. That's funny. Is my sound still okay? I just bumped my mic. Yeah. Okay, so let's flip this around. So back when we were looking at not knowing what was going to happen for Y2K, what I had done is installed a generator, split 80 some face cords of wood, and stacked it up in the farm that we owned. And look at that, lines of convergence there. Isn't that interesting? And that generator that we had was wired into our house, so we could run our whole house on it. And because I had gone to the Amherst Alternative Energy Fair for years, I had known about large battery systems that could be charged up with the sun, and then you could have energy from the sun that you operate your house with during the day or during the nighttime when the sun wasn't shining. And I extrapolated from that you could have batteries in your house and in the grid too, the power grid, because when we were looking at Y2K, we were looking at catastrophic failure potentially of the power grid. That was part of the narrative. That's why it was viewed as such a big deal. What if the grid goes down? What if the computers shut the power grid down? So that occurrence there was part of my mindset of preparedness. We had 3 young sons, and our youngest was a few years old when we were preparing for this. And so I worked a lot of hours storing up a lot of firewood, canned goods, and wheat, and I've still got some of that wheat at home from there. We had a couple thousand pounds of wheat. Well, I still have a lot of wheat. You know what? I've actually put the wheat in. Oh, there's my friend. He stuck his little, what's left of his arm up like that. It's a friend of mine that lost his limb in a car accident. Anyway, Rich, I've known him for years. Well, so in this preparedness, wanting to be able to handle difficulties when there's supply disruptions, intentionally or accidentally, and what we had found out was that there was a battle between good and evil, and I've become aware that we're in an asymmetrical warfare that is very wicked and covers all the different aspects of our life that can be controlled and manipulated to manipulate humanity and to exterminate humanity. So when people are talking about AI off in the future, slowed down for that cat. Why did that cat cross the road right then? So I could slow down and not hit it. Anyway, so we're living in a live war game simulation right now, and people are dying. People are dying from obesity, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's. Almost all of high blood pressure, almost all of what I mention is preventable by healthy lifestyle and dietary choices. So I cover health and wellness on my channel. Not just the shape of the earth, not just the truth about 9/11 and suppressed energy technologies and the world central banking system and the military industrial complex. I'm just going to expose the truth about the whole darn thing. And here's the cool thing about it. I'm going to use other people's created content to do it because they're not going to let me into Area 51. I've got video from there in my library. I don't have the experience of all the talented, brave producers of content. I don't have the ability to do what they did, to be where they were. So I'm featuring the work that they created to add to the Truth Network, which is a part of my deep learning AI simulated reality research library. Deep learning. You want to know about it? Oh, so I was gonna go here, but I can't go here today. Not today. There's a public works project going on. So that's that. Ooh, pretty sunrise though. So I'm running on full battery right now. No engine running, just the electric motor. That's pretty cool. I like that. And if I walk out, let me see. I think I might be able to walk out right here. I'm going to grab my tripod and see how that works out. One of the problems here is that I may lose the broadcast a little bit between the building, but I'm gonna try it anyway for a little bit. See what comes up. This is known as the point in Cherry Grove. This is where I captured the sun appearing to be in the clouds. You can see that if you care to. It's just in 23 seconds long of what the heck. Well, and what it actually is the sun is in the clouds where the Bible says it is in Job 37. You can check it out if you want. All right. Hey, one of the lights just went out. Did you see that? Light change. Enough light came from the sun right there to make that happen. It's so nice. I've been coming on out here for years, and that's the little rig now. Look at how much different that is with the lighting. So we saw it start out earlier with dark, couldn't see too much. And I'm going to have truth on the hood there and on the side. Oh, okay. So these are scalar waves right there. See those scalar waves right in the middle of the view there? Yeah, that's some weather technology. That light keeps going on and off, and it's got some extra gizmos on it. Apparently, the LED lights have technology for transmitting location like our biofield. Oh, there's the truth guy. There's his biofield. Yep, that's me. Or, no, that's me. Okay, so what do we have for connectivity? So I can stay there until 9 o'clock if I want to, not get a ticket. I'm not going to go that long, though. What's nice about between these buildings here that's a little bit different than over, and I can comment on some things here that will make a little bit more sense. I think I'm going to put a sticker here eventually. My stickers doubled in price. Anybody want to help me out? You can send me a Venmo. You can go to my Linktree if you want. Give me a call if you care to. So that's a sand dune. It's a drift, like sand drifts, kind of like snow, but a lot heavier. Wow, how pretty. So I was right in front of that sign over there years ago, holding my Tommy Bahama lightning rod umbrella. And I knew about the possibility of getting hit. You can see the video, it's in I recorded it. I was recording 5 Vietnamese surf fishermen out here. And I came to the beach that day on my motorcycle, and a storm came up. They can come up really quick out here. And it was thunder and lightning all around, and I believe God wanted me to keep on recording. By the way, granite is, it's got some properties that seem to draw a good solid ground and lightning. Hashtag struck by lightning on the channel. You can see the video. I felt the electricity flow through my body. And that was my line in the sand. I believe the Almighty was going to protect me. Before I was born again, I would have thought, yeah, He wants to see what I'm going to do. Now that I'm actually born again, I believe that He knows everything, including what I'm going to do, what you're going to do, all of that. So He protected and directed me to do that. My line in the sand helping me to consider that I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth about everything. So, thought I would mention that. She reminded me of my grandmother. So people reflect on their lives, past, present, future out here. People are transitioning. They're dying. Where will they go forever and why? Who determines? I believe the Almighty determines that. What a relief. It's not because of how good we are or how sweet we are or how giving we are. It's because He determined who His children are, and He changes us to be more like Him. Chip off the old block. Kind of like that. So I'm earthing. I was earthing earlier this morning while I was in that bathtub with the therapeutic soap that I mentioned about. And I've got a ground wire going from my electrical system into my tub water. I like it like that. Reduces inflammation, clears cognitive function. It's a wonderful thing. So, in the summer, I've got video of the sun coming up way over there. Coming up, it's going to appear here. If it were 93 million miles away in a 1.5 million Earth sizes, do you think it would be a little bit lighter over here and here? It's a local sun above the stationary level Earth. Oh, it looks like somebody was working on a project here. Oh, it looks like it was maybe a fire or something in there. Yep. Good morning. Hi, how are you? What a nice little puppy.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, is he a rescue dog?
Yeah, she's a retired racer.
Oh, I thought so. How about this one?
He's a rescue. He's a cattle poodle leopard mixed with Australian cattle.
Oh, a cattle dog? Oh, how adorable. So these are rescue puppies. I'm Robert.
Hi, Robert. I'm Anna.
Anna, nice to meet you. So I've got a YouTube channel and you're on it. Yeah, here's what I've got for you then is a card I'll give you, and you can see it later when you get home. I'm exposing the truth about everything. And if I think so, you might like this. A lot's happened since we talked. So good to see you again, Anna. Thanks, you too. So Anna and her rescue dogs. So part of the blessing that this is being able to meet people from all over the world, literally. I've got a video. Oh, there's the sun right there. I'm going to shut my donut hole for a moment. Yes, the Earth is stationary and level, compared level. So I was out here one day and I was doing a Bible video, and one of my friends from Tasmania, Nigel Bakes, puts in the comment, "Where's the curve?" And I deleted the comment. It sounded like a bizarre comment. I didn't know what to do with it, and almost nobody commented on my stuff at the time. And I ended up messengering him, and I said, "Nigel, what do you mean? Where's the curve?" He said, "Yeah, they lied about living on a spinning globe. We live on a stationary level or mostly flat Earth." And I'm like, "Really? Wow." And then I looked into it, and I spent the next day exploring that, and I found it to be absolutely true. We live on a stationary level plane, and NASA and all the perpetuators of the global lie. Now, some are unaware that they're promoting the lie, while on the other hand, there are some that are intentionally deceptive. They know it. So I'm exposing it, and I like it. I like doing that. I like doing this. This is great. So from a practical standpoint as well, higher is drier and lighter color, and then we get wetter, and then even more wet. It's just the way it is. So the official lie is that the reason we're seeing that apparently come up in the sky is because we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah, that's a load of bullshit. Yep, it's a load of lies. It's not true. Not at all. It's like a laser beam moving across the water. The sun reflection. So today, whoa, just left my tripod there. Let me see how. So that's the forward-facing camera. Let's see if I do it like this. Kind of interesting. There we go. I wanted to lock this in my tripod again. So now I can't see the moon at all. Not at all. It'd be pretty tough because of the tapestry of clouds up there. And when the tide goes all the way out, it'll be out almost 1,000 feet beyond where I am here. How about that? I'm gonna drop this down. So I've got lots of video out here. Oh, I was told that there was a memorial put back out here for a friend of mine who died about 7 years ago. I want to see if it's over there. Up in the dunes. Fishermen coming out and the pet walkers. Now it's pretty windy. I can see the texture here. That shows that it's been windy recently. And being barefoot out here can be a little bit of a challenge because this grass has sand spurs in it. Oh, this is so cool. I want to show something. So my broadcast cuts when I drop the camera down. Wow. Good morning. Met people from Germany here, from Sweden. Inga running through the sing through the seagulls. Inga was in her 70s. So one of the things that happens is, maybe you've heard it said, people don't care how much you know. Now let's see, know how much you care. I have friends that are no longer here because they cared enough to expose That's what this is about exposing the truth about everything. And the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, nor is it an opinion. It's simply the actual reality of whatever you may want to know about, or even if you don't want to know about it, it's the reality that's there. Sometimes people firsthand. So I was standing up here on this dune right here, videoing when walked all the way around the pier, wielding that sword, doing a martial arts routine, and I just packed up and got out of here and went over to my friend Rhonda, and we called the police. I took it as a veiled threat. My friend Rhonda, whose her memorial is out here, she was either relocated in a witness protection plan, or she actually was murdered, or she committed suicide, which is the official story. I'm not sure which it is. I don't know what really happened. I just know that she's not available to talk to anymore. For me, I can't reach her. She might be able to see my stuff. I don't know. If you can see this, Rhonda, you can know I appreciate our friendship. She was exposing human trafficking. So they're different every day. It's an adventure. It's the most exciting thing that I've ever experienced doing this. Here they come. See how they show up better with the backlighting? How beautiful. Well, you can see them on my video if you want. You can see them on my video if you want. Here's a card to my YouTube channel. If you Google my name, I would say guaranteed to blow your mind. You could give me a call if you want. I'm exposing the truth about everything.
Oh, okay.
And if you think I've missed something, you could give me a call or put it in a text or a comment.
Oh, cool.
What's your first name?
Christy?
Chris-
With a K. Christy.
Christy with a K.
Yep.
I'm Robert with an R. Nice to meet you, Christy.
It was such a gorgeous day.
It
And
is.
I just put my phone down and said, enjoy this walk, just enjoy, say your prayers, and just enjoy this beautiful day. And then those birds went across and said how lovely of Polish that was.
It is so beautiful.
Bye.
Nice to meet you, Christy. Thank you. I believe what I'm going to do now is go ahead and thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for coming by and sharing as you do. If you care to copy and paste Command C, Command V, and share the research library I have, that'd be just great. Wherever you can, wherever you want to. Like I say, if you've got questions, we've got questions. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. If you want to know what I believe particularly, you're welcome. I try to do the best I can to be very transparent, specific out here. I just have to be somewhat guarded because of the nature of the controversial topics that are censored out. And I don't want this video to get removed. So if you're curious about a particular controversial topic and you want to know specifically what I believe, I'll be happy to tell you in a conversation. So thank you so much for your public and private encouragement. This is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. Thank you so much.